What up?
Yo, what's happening, yo?
Man, your grill is all up in the camera today. You are
Yeah, I'm
up
trying
close.
I'm trying to adjust it.
This is dentist view. This is a orthodontist view. What up, man?
Good, man. Everything is well, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been 2 weeks. It feels like it's been an eternity since
I
we've
know
been on.
I'm still waiting. Did you get your holiday pay yet?
Holiday pay.
Yeah, holiday pay from us missing last week. I was
Bruh, we got to hit Big Mike up for our
Mike ain't give us our holiday pay.
man. Hey, it's hard economic times out here. He should be paying us a bonus just to be on this show, since it's so hard to find workers these days. Shoot,
I'm trying to tell you.
I think I'm due for it.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
How's
everybody
it going,
tuning in. I'm good. I want to shout out everybody tuning in right quick. Rashad and our man Jay. Everybody who is tuning in and watching, please be sure to like and share. Sunday night service is back and in effect.
Yes,
with
sir.
Religiously Incorrect. We took a week off, Pastor Jeff, for July 4th holiday.
Yes,
And
sir.
we didn't plan on talking about that, but what did you do or not do for the 4th concerning your church, like acknowledging Independence Day? Did you even bother to do?
I was going to do something, but then I said, as a matter of fact, I told them that morning, I'm gonna wait till next Juneteenth, and
Juneteenth.
I just put the sermon on hold. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we didn't really make any formal acknowledgement except that be safe for the holidays.
Right.
Basically,
I did say that at the end of the service. I said that at the end of the service. I actually had a sermon called "I Need an Independence Day." I need an Independence Day planned, and it just didn't feel right. So I said I'd just hold on to it. So
here's where I'm at, Jeff. Jeff, this might be, Pastor, exactly what certain people fear with all of this, newfound awareness of history, 1619 Project. I have less and less of a connection to anything related to actual like Independence Day or the American Revolution. Now Veterans Day, white, black, whatever, Memorial Day, whatever, Armed Forces Day, which apparently is a day for current, that, but like Flag Day and Independence Day, that is just so far out for me at this point. And I'm not even playing the like militant Juneteenth thing, even though Juneteenth is our thing. Some people are going overboard. Like, they were literally mad people were talking about Independence Day. They're like, how you gonna celebrate Juneteenth and Independence Day? I'm like,
I'm not mad. I'm not. It was funny. I was I mean, those you don't know, I've been working, crazy. And
500 hours a week.
Basically.
Jeff's job added hours to the day just so they can make him work them. There's 27 hours in the day now because of Jeff's job. And he has to work all of them.
I'm in bed, man. I'm good, knocked out. My wife is like, it's 10:30. I'm like, hey, I'm asleep. What do you want? What do you need? I'm asleep.
What is time? What is time anymore?
She's like, well, you gonna do those fireworks? My son-in-law had blessed us.
Oh
with some
yeah,
fireworks.
he
So,
was the fireworks plug.
Listen, I went outside. I lined them all up in a row. I was like, I'm going back to bed. Bye.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot. Now, I'll tell you, the only thing that is Independence Day savings grace is Black people's obsession with fireworks.
Obsessed, man. Obsessed.
If it wasn't for Black people's obsession with fireworks, I don't see any reason for us to have anything to do with Independence Day, to be honest.
They literally used to start around July 2nd, maybe July 1st. They
now
start
like May. They start after Mother's Day. Mother's Day until we go back to school is now fireworks season. I saw some posts, Pastor Tatum, she was talking about New York fireworks. I don't even want to know what it's like to shoot off fireworks in New York. Where do you shoot off fireworks in New York? How? Where?
I tell you what, it was
at the bodega. I mean, what is the?
This time, my son-in-law gave me some of them real fireworks. usually because he said I told him I really didn't like doing them. He gave me some regular one. He gave me them real jumps that was, go crazy. Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm running back to the car and I'm thinking mosquitoes are biting me. And it's actually stuff falling down. I mean, my wife's car was covered with fireworks. I said, what in the world? I'll never give me this junk again.
Listen. Okay, so the other night we actually went to a private fireworks display. I don't want to say private, but I was invited by my brother-in-law to a friend's of his house out in the country, out in the township. And there's they have like a giant lake on their property, and they set up like across the lake. It was like a professional show. It was literally better than Eastwood's.
Wow.
And Eastwood was garbage this year. You can put that on record. Pastor Todd Johnson said that the Scrappers Field fireworks were straight garbage. I don't even like the Founding Fathers, but the Founding Fathers would be ashamed of you if they saw those.
When Harding scores, their fireworks is better.
Right, yeah. Harding's fireworks are better than the Scrappers. Tatum said they set them off in the middle of the block and hope you don't set someone's house on fire. Yeah, that sounds like a winner.
Right.
That's exactly why I'm not a big city guy, because Warren, little old sleepy Warren, not to say I can never go to a big city, but it's chaotic enough to have kids shooting bottle rockets at my car when I'm trying to drive down
exactly
the road. And I can't even be mad because I used to be that kid. So karma, I guess.
Before we move on, what is the code? Because literally these people light the fireworks up all night long and then leave all the scrap in the street.
Oh, there's no code, man. There's no code.
I mean, shouldn't you get it up the day of?
No, there is no code, man. It's like the streets, man. There's no code anymore. There's no honor in this. There's no honor in the drug game. There's no honor in the fireworks game. There's no honor in the, messing around with your friend's girl or boyfriend. There's no honor anywhere. There's no code. It doesn't exist.
Wait a minute. It was one house down the street from me. Say no names and bear no blame.
Okay, we already know what house this was. Would this house have something to do with family members who live in my rental home? What? Jeff is about to turn me in as a slumlord.
I said, my God.
Right. Yeah, I heard, man. I heard. Trust me, I heard from neighbors, man. I heard it was a bad scene. So, man, the news of the day, and we're not even going to devote that much time. We're going to give ourselves like a 3-minute time limit for this. Well, we actually don't have a guest. We can talk as long as we want to and do our ads. Sha'Carri Richardson, my man. So it's all over. There's nothing. That track star, young lady with the wild, orange hair, the nails, the lashes, speedster. Yeah. She, you know what she is? If Speed Demon was a person,
that would be her. That would be her.
If Speed Demon was a person, and I'm not saying she looks like a demon, but she does have a when you think about Olympic sports, kind of a shocking look. I don't understand why they think it's shocking. Like we didn't have Jackie Joyner Kersee and FloJo and the one leg outfits and all that stuff. I mean, that's nothing new.
It literally goes to, the fact that it shouldn't, and this is just my opinion, it shouldn't take away from her talent. None of what people look like, I mean, we could talk about what's the quarterback who be wearing all the girls' clothes? Cam.
Yeah, that's a little far for me, man. That's a little.
It's far, but I mean,
and the basketball player. Who's the basketball player that does it too?
LeBron.
All of them. All of them.
But it doesn't take away from their talent on the court. And
no, it doesn't. But it gets you attention. That's your own personal style. And let's go back. It's funny because we're going to wrap this into, we'll get to our subject whenever, but it goes back to that image is what got her attention. She already would have been blazing. But that image, and let's be clear, many of our people, many Black people were, it was a mixture. There were some people speaking down on her image, but as usual, there were far more people claiming people were speaking down on her image than actually were. And she just becomes a rallying cry. Y'all don't judge her. Ain't nobody said a daggone thing about her eyelashes except for like one white lady in the suburbs somewhere. Nobody was really on that. But Then it turns and she tests positive. And it's funny because we were all learning the heartbreaking / inspirational story about her mother dying and her finding out. And apparently this is a biological mother. We're not in our business.
Well, I mean, that she was estranged from.
Estranged from. Which, you know, all right, I'm gonna let that go because I'm a bit of a hard-hearted guy. Sometimes I think people manufacture drama in some ways. I think that you really can be impacted and are impacted. But Jeff, you and I both know a whole lot of people, and I'm not saying this is everybody, who once somebody's not really in your life, it affects you, but
absolutely,
it felt more like a storyline. But then it turned when she's coping with this storyline.
And that's what I'm saying. Or I guess if her mother wouldn't have passed away and she would have tested positive, would she still have tested? See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, because I just think,
okay. All right, it's judgment time. Remember how y'all say the church don't judge people? I'm about to judge people. All right, are y'all ready to judge? It's judgment hour. We need like a bell to say judgment hour. Yeah, she looked like she'd been smoking a whole lot more than just to cope with her mama's death. Let's just be honest.
I didn't want to say it. I'm glad you did. When I looked, I was like, come on now. You're estranged from her. You really don't even know the woman. You just like to hit that endo.
Now let's be clear. You can be impacted, and people do feel extreme pain, you know, and regret, sorrow. You're talking about a young lady. She is young, but one person made a great comment. Forget who it was. I want to give credit. They said a part of all this gassing up that they gave this young lady, no pun intended, is that she had the wild look, and it's almost like the hood had a hero.
Right.
Until the hero turned back into the hood and got disqualified from the Olympics. And then there's all this, it shouldn't be a law, it shouldn't be a rule. Y'all are judging her. And man, here's the A word, man. The A word is worse than the F word at this point. The A word is worse than the F word. Accountability.
There it is.
The A word is worse than the. Listen, I'm gonna tell the story I told.
I think Michael Phelps, everything he won, he done it on drugs somehow.
He might have, and he got tested, and he tested positive, and he got suspended for 3 months. But it was after he had already participated in the Olympics, so that 3 months technically didn't affect the Olympics. But I will say this, and I said this in a comment. I forget who I said it to. I think it was to my uncle who's a coach. I said, yes, we all know how weed is transitioning and changing. We all know how laws are opening up. But as we have said in many debates, that does not mean that every sport, every job, every school is going to instantly change their rules. I got pulled over a couple weeks ago just as a spot check. They didn't give me a ticket or nothing, but just as a spot check. Like, hey, slow down. Coming from my church, 35, 25, over the bridge, you know, woo, woo, woo. And I literally said to the cop, you know, it really shouldn't be 25 here. He's like, yeah, I know, but it's 25 here.
Right.
End of story. It really shouldn't be. I could call it a speed trap all I want. You know, it is. But this young lady is not the first person in the history of the world to get caught doing drugs and suspended. This is a long-standing issue. And in the spur of the moment, coping, grief, or just hanging out with friends, you don't think about the consequences, or you're not even thinking at all. You're not even thinking of a way out. You're not even thinking about these arguments. You're not doing that when it happens. But we're so quick to create those arguments. You know what you're doing. Thank you, Tatum. I said this to my coach uncle. To be in the Olympics is to literally be a walking drug test.
Absolutely.
To be in the Olympics, all you do is train and get drug tested.
That's it. That's it.
All you do.
And you know it.
They follow you after the races until you go to the bathroom, and they literally have to sit with the stall. Like, it's so, you know, lacks so much privacy. I've watched some specials about it. Like, they literally follow a dude and have to stand there.
But, you know, I've talked to plenty of these young men, whether it's high school, whether it's college, or whether it's just some of these young men trying to get a job. They swear by the fact that you can get away with it. You can drink this certain stuff and eat this dirt. You listen. First of all, that doesn't help on hair follicles, and you know,
right.
You know, you can't get away with everything. So let's stop. You know, let's stop looking for the get around. Let's stop looking for the get around, and let's just get it right.
And it goes back to the PPP argument. If they want to catch you, they will. And if there was anybody they wanted to catch, it'd probably be her. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
So,
and I heard it was some people getting caught with the PPPs. They're starting to catch up.
Oh yeah. I'm seeing it all over. But I feel for her because this is the prime time in her life. This was the time to start a legacy. I do wish there could have been exceptions or understanding or hearings or you'll be suspended afterward or what. I really do wish that. But they did make a point. They said she is not the only athlete on the Olympic team. Everybody's subject to the same rules.
Absolutely.
Anybody else, and it's unfair to the people who followed the rules.
Right. It is.
And we don't like to think that way. And boy, it's almost like bunk y'all that follow the rules. If we don't, then still, and I think that's a quiet tension nobody talks about in every area of life. Whether we're paying for our, houses and food and somebody else's, forget y'all. Y'all the dummies y'all the idiots. That's not finessing the system. So,
and I would just say that the one saving grace is she's very young. She has a chance to come back and still do what she does. And hopefully this time she'll make smarter choices, better choices, and surround yourself with people.
Thank you.
Make you make better choices and who have accountability over your life. And you know what I mean? So
this is almost Ma'Khia Bryant situation all over again. It's the people. That's the young lady in Columbus. It's the people who are surrounding you that end up being your downfall. The people who are gassing you up. I mean, and let's just be clear, in pro sports and in many other high profile occupations, as soon as you get into that world, and in the new millennium, there's a million seminars and orientations and, mentors and all these people telling you exactly what to avoid.
Exactly what's going to happen. Exactly what's going to happen if you don't.
Avoid kicking it with people from your hood. Avoid family members who come out the woodwork. Avoid going to clubs and da-da-da-da. And some people still choose to do it. So it be what it be. It is what it is. We wish her the very best. And I want to finish off with this. There are other Black people in the Olympics.
Yes.
There are other Black athletes. I know that we are very ticked off, but I think it was Gabby. I forget her name. Gabby, whatever her name is. Yeah. Wonderful, talented gold medal person. She did say, I would hate for everyone to boycott the rest of us, because you feel like you're boycotting the Olympics, and you might be. But don't forget, there are still a lot of other Black athletes breaking barriers and fulfilling their dreams too that deserve our help. So Pastor Jeff, it's just me and you today. We're the special guests. Go ahead and introduce me, and I'll introduce you. And then we'll do our ads. So first of all, let's do the ads. Then we're going to introduce each other. We're going to think about how we're going to introduce each other. Gabby Douglas. Thanks, Jay. All right. Where's my first one? Yeah, Phillips Care Cleaning Service is a proud sponsor of Religiously Incorrect podcast. Check them out. Call 330-219-7916. They clean just about anything. Residential, commercial, floor cleaning, wood cleaning, move in, move out, deep cleaning, Trumbull, Mahoning counties. Check out Phillips Care LLC on Facebook. Check them out by calling my man Fernando at 330-219-7916. They do a great job. They clean up the mess that causes you stress. And while we're talking about proud sponsors, we want to shout out Phillips Lawn Care Service. Phillips Care Lawn Services has been in business for over 10 years. They service the entire area, Mahoney Valley region. They're doing lawns starting at $30, but they also do mulching and spring and fall cleanup. They'll do edging, trimming, and all the outdoor needs. I know it because I use them, and they are wonderful and excellent at what they do. Make sure you check out Phillips Care LLC on Facebook, or look them up by calling 330-219-7916. And Jeff, as we finish off this, I want to put up Dante's comment because I think it's a great comment. He said, strong talk, and we appreciate you. No longer Principal Capers. He is also what he is, Associate Superintendent, I believe. Capers, strong talk, resisting accountability, focused on the get around and the hyper normalization of weed. Love it, Dante. We got to get you on sometime.
Love it. Yes, that would be great.
They call him Daddy Capers at Harding, so we got to. And shout out to the sister that got hired as the new principal.
Yes. Big shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out. We're just grateful to see wonderful talent and people who love our children, serving our children. So shout out to all of you. All right, Jeff, go ahead and announce me, and I'll announce you. We're a special guest tonight.
Our special guest tonight really needs no applause. Really needs no intro.
No introduction.
If you don't know him, you've been hiding under a rock somewhere. He is the king of evangelism. He is the outspoken new Malcolm X of today. He is the brother y'all know for wearing the medium shirts. Come on, somebody.
Medium shirts. Listen, medium shirts are in style.
Come on, somebody. He is the husband of one wife and three beautiful children. Amen. Would y'all put y'all hands together?
Keep talking while I plug my laptop in.
He is a good brother. He done went from the Diedrich Haddon hairstyle to the there it is. They didn't put it back up, Todd. They didn't put you back up. Here's a person wearing a romper clergy outfit.
No, this is cold-blooded.
The romper clergy outfit. Put your hands together for he likes to say the right reverend.
Y'all are dogs, man.
The under shepherd.
Y'all are dogs.
The angel of the house, the pastor of the historical Second Baptist Church. Right here on Main Street in Warren, Ohio, Pastor Todd Johnson. Woo! I need all my Second Baptist folk to go ahead and give them claps and hands.
Ain't nobody watching this show.
I was gonna say, don't say nothing about progressive because ain't none of them on the internet. So.
My church is watching Family Feud right now. Family Feud and Tyler Perry movies. Well, coming to the stage is Warren's own Kirk Franklin. He is he is the greatest singer that can't sing, but insists on singing anyway. He is one of the flyest dressers. He is one of 5 Grand's top models, even though 5 Grand doesn't even sell male clothes anymore. He just models clothes from K&G. I want you to put your hands together for the #1 Browns fan, the powerful preaching potentate, the pastor of Progressive Baptist Church, the father of Christian and Asia May, and what's the new one's name?
Grayson and Chastity.
The husband of Tiffany, Lady Tiffany. This is one of Warren and Youngstown's finest. He is so bad that he just runs over everybody's church in everybody's city. Who knows where you'll find him next? He might be the pastor of Potter's house next. Who knows what's going on? Who knows? But my partner in crime, Pastor, Reverend Dr. Apostle, Archbishop, Assistant Music Director, Vice Drummer, Jeffrey L. Stanford.
Blessings be upon you. Blessings be upon you.
So here's our theme for today, Pastor Jeff.
Wait.
Here's a wait.
Before we go into our theme for today, just give us a brief synopsis. Thank you, Cynthia Hill. See on the end. All right. See, we got some progressive in the house. Right. Listen. Just give us a brief synopsis of your time at HBCU you was at.
It's called NASAP.
Yeah,
it's a student leadership group and a student leadership institute that's centered around HBCUs. It's at Savannah State every July. I get to run down there with our main man, Terrell Vidal, and assist him with doing presentations. And obviously after COVID, a lot of schools were shut down. The famous homecomings, the king and queen courts, all that stuff was kind of shut down. So it was our time to get back and reintroduce the students, whole new group of kids, of course, because the kids we were talking to 3 years ago are gone. But all I can say is this, it is inspiring, it is heartwarming, and it's motivating to see Black excellence at work, the future of Black leadership in Black America. I mean, up north, of course, HBCUs are not so prominent. And I'm actually making a commitment to be more engaged and involved, even try to get some youth to attend, even if they're volunteers or something, to just see that. It's one thing to go to a college fair, which is awesome.
Right.
It's another thing to actually watch the student leaders in action. Nothing beats them wearing their color-coordinated dresses and suits, escorting the ladies up the steps and opening doors, doing their chants, their dances, representing their schools, but also the excellence in which they conduct themselves. It's not just a show. Black colleges are not just a show. It's not just
Absolutely.
homecoming and battles of the bands and all that stuff. It is our culture. And again, like the Black church, Black colleges are one of the last bastions where we can truly be us, the way we want to be us.
Absolutely.
And so shout out to NASAP SLI, the wonderful President Dumas, Dr. Brandon Dumas, who is the head of that currently, and all of the presenters, the students I met. I mean, these are seniors, these are juniors and seniors. I mean, getting ready to go to law school, accountants, biologists, chemists, med school, just amazing intelligence. And they will have church on a dime. You put a church song on the speaker, they will start a whole choir. It was a quartet concert in the cafeteria. And here's how you know you're at a Black college: when the cafeteria is selling oxtails and rice and fish and grits.
Yes, sir.
You ain't getting that at YSU, and you ain't getting that at UC. So I mean, oxtails and rice, fish and grits, fried chicken. I mean, all the works. Peach cobbler. They had it going on. Them old Black women, they took them right out the church kitchen and sent them right over to the university. And it was a beautiful thing. So appreciate you allowing me to shout that out. And shout out Terry, my brother Terrell, for always asking me to go along. There might be an opportunity for me to go as a presenter myself and speak to young men. And I'm really bouncing that. I'd love to do that and start to kind of go to colleges and interact more at that level. So we'll see where that flows. Hey, our subject today, Pastor Paramore. Y'all know Pastor Paramore is Bowdy, Lita Paramore. She she put a post up about
the young man hit a girl, and she was like, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
I'm from the Yo. Do you know who I am?
And if they didn't, they better not
find out.
They would not want her husband walking up on me.
Listen,
that's not a brother I would want to walk up on me.
Bro, I barely want to sit beside him, let alone walk on. But our subject is the summertime blues.
The
summertime blues. In a normal year, it's been said that summertime is one of the worst times for churches.
Yes.
For obvious reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got vacations,
just being too hot because half y'all churches don't got air conditioning.
Bruh, and then you think you have it, until how come you never realize something's wrong with your air until Sunday morning at like 10:45? If it is a problem, nobody finds out Thursday at 2.
Because it still be cool in the offices where we go. We go into the offices where it still be cool at. We ain't in the sanctuary.
That's true. And the devil, he be attacking, man. He be attacking, trying to make Sunday the hottest days and all. And then you got hot lights and choir robes if you still wear them, and all that makeup and equipment. Equipment heats up a building and all that electricity. It's miserable. But the summertime blues, I mean, there are a lot of challenges that churches face. So if attendance is down, then that means offerings are down. Activities, maybe available volunteers to get things done, might be down. There's the scourge, and I mean this in love. I'm just joking, but for those of us that do it, VBS, or as I call it, Hell Week. Because by Thursday, Doc, the volunteers be about ready to choke these kids, boy. They be, Monday we all bright. We doing the little attendance and welcome to VBS.
Everybody walking around with their phones, showing all these kids and everything.
By Thursday, it's just one big Black lady like, y'all better sit down somewhere.
Is it almost over?
Is it over yet?
Pastor, you come down here with these kids.
You got people calling off sick from Vacation Bible School. The kitchen committee is on FMLA. They faking injuries. They don't want to come back. Yeah, man. Vacation Bible School, boy. And we're not doing it this year. We're doing Sunday fun days a couple times a month as we gear back up to children's church and doing that in a different format. But summertime has so many challenges, man. And I mean, let's just start with attendance and services in general.
Right.
And we want to hear from some of you. And by the way, if you're a member of one of our churches, your opinion's your opinion. We're not going to listen to you anyway. So, whatever. But but there are some churches that simplify their schedule. That if they do multiple services, they go down to one service, or some shift their service to earlier in the morning and to kind of give Sunday away. A lot of people like Saturday services, depending on if your churches do some of that. A lot of our white churches especially do that. What do you feel about, should you make service adjustments in the summertime? As a pastor, what do you think?
I definitely feel that it depends on the size of your church. Depends on the size, the amount of people you got at your church. If you have a small church, I think you stick with what you got. And especially those members who are kind of used to, what they do. They're kind of used to coming at a certain time, a particular time, and when you go, especially for people like you and I who are newer pastors, and we start changing up times, then we start getting a side eye. But we're really trying to do that to help them. But you don't want to interrupt the flow. You are, because like you said, summertime, we're already going to have lower attendance. So you don't want to, mess with those who may come. And because you spend the time on them, they feel like, I would have been there. It just gives an extra excuse.
But even if it's not an excuse, as much as we talk about the church needing to change and transition in a lot of ways, you have to be careful how you do that, how often you do that, because change and transition can be destabilizing.
Yeah.
And it's not just about feeding people's preferences. And we like to say that, and I know we all get stuck in routines, rituals, and that. But honestly, there's a reason your job doesn't change your hours every couple of weeks unless you work swing shift or something. And you all know if you work swing shift, how crazy that is, right? So the idea that we should just be flipping here and there all the time, I don't agree with. But there's nothing wrong with exploring, the world we live in now, even pre-COVID, which is going to end up being the reference for everything. COVID is going to end up being our reference for everything at this point. It's like BC and AD now. It's going to be like, PC, AC. But we are more reasonably thinking people. We have more historical context to why we do what we do. Perfect example. I literally read one time when I was reading up on the history of the Kojic Church, don't know how true or accurate, but it was believed that their conventions were in November because it was after harvest season for just about everybody. And that's why their conventions are in November. A lot of our services are at 10 and 11 o'clock because in the agricultural days, in the agrarian society, like when everybody worked the fields, basically, you got up early when it was still cool to do your work. And then you went on to church or whatever and spent the rest of the day in church for those who didn't take the Sabbath so strict as some do. So there's reasons for things. And because we have that knowledge, we think more about switching up, and people are more safety minded. They're more reasonably minded. And, there are people, as Sister Johnson just said, who ask for services to be moved up or shifted in the wintertime when it's getting dark. You have people there's a night service or a Bible study, which a lot of people don't have night services anymore. But I mean, man, I wish I could have as many summer nights as my kids have now on Sundays. I mean, we used to have 5:30 service. It was 7 at first and 5:30. And you know what it's like to get out of church, change your clothes, be playing with your friends, and your dad, you be like, yo, you gotta go back to church, So I think there's more, honestly, willingness with everybody, even small churches. Sometimes you be like, y'all want to just do a 45-minute service at 9? They be like, and even 12 of us, cool,
I know of the last church I pastored, like you said, when the time shifted, the area that was in, was not, it was, that street was known for, a lot of gang activity and, people getting shot. So we moved the time up because we couldn't, I didn't want people to leave Bible study and feel like, every deacon had to wait and walk them to their car and make sure they get all the way down the street safe, So I think that sometimes it is necessary.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, every church needs to know its context and perhaps be willing to, at least, if it's the pastor's idea or someone else's idea, to bring it up in the right way, to at least, talk about it, the pros, the cons, will this make a significant difference? there's already going to be a significant difference in attendance and giving and participation anyway. There's already going to. Now, there are some people who refuse to change up or cancel when the weather's bad or whatever. That same old story. You never know when a soul might come and the doors are closed. And that might be the one day that soul was going to be saved. And we moved service to 9 and they came at 11 and we missed them. I do believe that God in his providence is not going to let something as fickle as an hour change be the difference between somebody's soul going to heaven or hell or receiving the ministry they need. But again, there's wisdom and responsibility, on our part. And sometimes it's just being reasonable and pragmatic. You can fuss at people. You can argue with people about being faithful to this or that, and it's summertime, but don't lose. Listen, if I was the average church member, I'd be taking a few Sundays off myself, even if I was an average attendee. And come on, preachers, let's be clear here. Preachers, organists, whoever. First of all, we're obviously paid to be here.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's just be honest. We're obviously paid to be here. And then there's a group of people who have nowhere else to be. And if church was on Mars, they'd buy a spaceship and call Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson, and they would be there no matter what. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not bashing that. But I'm just saying that my father taught hard about family values. Go on vacation. Don't live under the church. Don't let your children resent the church.
Right.
Because you spent every waking hour. There were people raised, Bishop Herron talked about it with us, when they were raised, they couldn't play sports, couldn't do anything that might make them miss church and certain traditions. And they understood, now why they were trying to do that to keep them out of trouble. But let's not pretend a group of people didn't resent the faith and the church.
Some of them still ain't going.
And still, yeah. Mm-hmm. So be pragmatic. Now, do we need to give in to the whims? Because after a while, people are like, let's just do church twice a week all year, or twice a month, or why don't we just have monthly service, Doc? You know what? We need to have a biannual service in July and December.
All via Facebook. Everything via Facebook.
Everything via Facebook. You know what, Doc? Just email me your sermon. just ride by my house and throw some communion at me. I mean, you got to be careful about chasing preferences. Let's just be clear. The world has shifted, and the church and people are not sitting around waiting for Sunday. There's kids' sports on Sundays. And we've cried about it. It hasn't changed the reality of it, that there's football and baseball and soccer and camps and, AAU sports. It is what it is, man, and so we can either fight it or try to be effective.
Absolutely.
And
sometimes you have to change. Well, let me ask you this, man. When we're dealing with summertime blues, how much of summertime blues has to do with, because we do live in a world and age where, the big hats and stuff is not as prevalent anymore, where clothing and an appropriate dress comes into play at our churches. And how do we deal with that? How do we deal with, I mean, would you deal with somebody who came to your church with shorts or the cut off sleeves and, things of that nature?
The short answer is no. First of all, and I am not super duper come as you are a guy, because I just believe that's gotten abused. Right. But I do believe that something, and when I say abused, I mean, like, people just be saying it, don't even think. They don't even, they're not even, whatever. But I'll say that, no, number one, the soul is always more important. If it is a person in a place of position or service or ministry that should know that they should dress within reason, even if you're dressing down, even if it's hot, I think that's something to be addressed to those who should be walking in maturity and have an obligation in ministry. But any average member or visitor, unless they're causing an actual disruption, and there might be, and one thing I'm noticing, and I'm surprised it doesn't happen more, that there's a list of terrible things that I'm surprised it don't happen more. One is like mass shootings in like welfare offices, when people get their Section 8 cut off. And another one is people basically trolling the church and doing things just to prove a point. It happens some, but I'm surprised it doesn't happen more. And people are like, I'm gonna just wear this bikini there and see what they say. I'm gonna come in there, because And it's going to happen because everybody's pranking each other and going to places that we once considered, sacred and doing crazy things. But at this juncture, again, our churches aren't even wearing hats and fur coats in the wintertime and on special days like that. It is a
Right.
far more casual society, and I don't think that's the main thing. And let's just be clear. I don't know very many people who still think that way. Your preachers and your deacons and people who like to dress up are still going to dress up. And let's be honest, they were going to dress up anywhere. If they were going out to drink, they were going to wear a 3-piece suit.
Right.
There's old school players, that were going to dress up. It just is what it is. And, I'm tired of that, reaction to judgment that's not even happening. I don't remember the last time I've witnessed anybody legitimately judge somebody's clothes or something. Now, would a woman cut eyes at a young lady with, short shorts on or a short skirt or a see-through pants and a thong? Yeah. Yes. Would they do it at the mall too? Yes. Would they do it at McDonald's too? Yes. Would they do it when they're pumping gas and see that girl get out of her car? Yes. So this is just a human reaction. This isn't
so
judgment,
let's just okay. The first week, cool. Second week, cool. 2 months in, you've joined the church, you got a relationship with people, and you're still, scantily dressing. And let's just be honest, every deacon ain't saved,
we know that.
Every and I mean it does cause a, it does cause with somebody looking
a distraction,
at somebody,
a distraction. Or let's be clear. Number one, I say this about all females, and I'm torn on the subject. I admit I'm torn. No, a young lady is not responsible for how a young man reacts. As a matter of fact, the Bible says the opposite. The Bible says that it's the man who loves who should pluck his eye out. It does not say the woman should cut her boobs and her butt off.
You're right.
Doesn't say that.
Right.
Doesn't say that.
Right.
It doesn't say the woman should do. It says the man should pluck his eye out. But I think that if you are being a knowing distraction, and maybe you don't know, and again, the church has to wrestle with a culture that is not at all acclimated to any of the norms of the church. We have to find new ways of, if there are expectations, making them known when they need to be made known, and, communicating it, in a loving fashion. But there's another side to this, and there are people, and we got to be honest, even though it is unpopular to say, there are people who are looking for attention, and then when they get the attention, they'll make a lot of noise about the attention they got. Just like these young ladies who basically post these thirst pics talking about they single and horny and all this other stuff at night, and then as soon as somebody inbox them, they want to post screenshots talking about look at all these guys, why y'all all in my inbox, so the church has to be wary of that, because again, a part of that culture is attention I want, but I really don't want, or I make something toxic out of. And that's the club to the church to wherever. So I think the church needs to make its intentions known, lead by example, not be judgmental, but that doesn't mean that you don't look for teaching and wisdom moments. It doesn't look for teaching and wisdom moments. So Jeff, I want to switch gears a little bit, because number one, we talked about church services, and I think all of us have shortened our church services, with the exception of a few that have extended their church services. I would just say this: if you're still doing like 2-3 hours on, you need to stop. Nobody is watching all that, and I'm sorry for the people who are watching 3 hours of church on this. But let's switch gears to like outreach and outdoor services. So a lot more people got pushed outside. I remember when I could count on my hand, or maybe even 2 fingers, the number of churches that would do an outdoor service before they were forced to. And my church was always one of them. My church was always one of them. And, now everybody's outside, parking lot, pull up, parking lot, this, that, the church at the park. We're doing pull up and pray at parks and areas around the West Side for the next month. That's just on Wednesday. So is outdoor service really effective? And I mean, as an outreach tool, I'm not talking about the necessity of COVID and parking lot.
Right.
Yes. And I've heard, and let's just be clear. Preachers have started to brag about outdoor service the way we used to brag about how many members we have in church at Red Lobster afterwards. We're bragging about what it does. We're bragging about how people walked by, just walked up. And I have a skeptical, call it a, what's the word I'm looking for? I really have this sarcastic sort of viewpoint about going overboard, thinking that everybody who walks down the sidewalk, you've just suddenly become this super dynamic outreach ministry. Yeah. You know, if there was a guy playing the banjo on a street corner, a few people would have walked up. You know what I'm saying? You know, if there was a wolf howling at the moon, somebody would have walked out their house and looked at it. Do you feel most of our churches, how about this? Is simply taking the indoor experience outside actually effective to outreach ministry? Or because if the feel of the church is still preaching to the saints, screaming about the same stuff you always screaming about, and you're not even actually talking to them,
right,
outside of us, is it really effective?
I've always been of the opinion, if you're going to do anything outdoors, it needs to change. I don't think having church or taking a church outside with a tent and, you know, setting the chair. We literally set the chairs up just like we got them at the church. Literally bring one of our smaller pool pits out. You know,
we bring our pool pit chairs outside. We bring our pool pit. Listen, Jeff, we've been there.
You know?
No, I'm saying I've seen people bring whole red and wood pool pit chairs outside and sit in them in the grass. In the grass.
And then with
a goblet, with a glass goblet with mosquitoes in it.
I'm gonna be honest. And I know this is a little bit different, but I heard more people angry at the outside churches.
Bro, they like, I'm trying to sleep.
They're blowing their horns. They're blowing their horns. People was like, I just got off work. What is y'all doing?
Right. My baby ain't slept all night. My baby just went to sleep. And here y'all come. Here y'all come with these doggone horns. And fair warning, I'm about to do it in 2 weeks. So sorry, Highland Homes. This is payback for all the times I woke up with these doggone loud speakers and people with their cars drowning out the preacher. Maybe that's what it is, Jeff. It's payback.
You know, it's the big payback.
How many times have we been preaching in our church and then some loud person drive by, stay at the stop sign, booming a system while somebody's trying to testify? You know what? I got something for you. Wait till 10 a.m. on Sunday. We about to do the long version of this song and point all the speakers at your house. No, I've seen complaints. I've seen news reports. There is this this Caucasian woman, of course they call her a Karen, who walked up on a black church.
I saw that.
And like started arguing. And thing that made me mad was the preacher with the mic was arguing back through the microphone.
Well, he thought she was coming up to, you know, give a testimony or something. She's like, listen, I stay right across the lake. I can't.
And then it gets worse, because just like when mics go out or the power has a flicker, then they start rebuking the devil and stuff just because somebody's complaining. Yeah. So the person's trying to talk, and there's a bunch of mothers like, in the name of Jesus, I rebuke this human being who is trying to sleep. I rebuke her. I rebuke this poor lady. So I do believe you do need to be cognizant. But let's be honest, outdoor stuff is a part of life. You live next door to a stadium, you're going to hear noise. You live next door to a bar, you live next door. So in some ways, the church should have just as much right to make a little noise sometimes.
Absolutely.
Because everybody else does. Let's be clear. Everybody else does. When they bumping music behind me and I can hear them through the woods and somebody's having a block party, I can go over there all I want. I can go over there all I want. So I think the church should be good neighbors. And I mean, if you ride up on houses, come on, man. You know, I even point our speakers like towards the street. Like we point our speakers like out main, away from the homes. You hear it, but it's not like in your window, you know, and I think you should be, but it's not always good outreach. It's just like you said, it's just church outside.
Well, I do believe that it's a good way, because I do believe that a lot of these people may not hear you any other way, or may not have come. And sometimes, I mean, they might not even catch the whole service. But they might get a little bit of your word. They might get a little bit of singing. They might feel it, you know, I mean, and it might get somebody to come. But I mean, I don't think it's going to be the the Great Awakening.
No. I mean, if that was true, with all the tent revivals that have been had, all the outdoor services, even the times when our windows were just open back in the day, prior to air conditioning, and some of us still open our windows, you would have already evangelized. The anointing would have already dragged. I mean, come on now. I mean, and let's just be clear, and I hate to sound so cynical was the word I was looking for. Cynical is, if you had that much power, it would have flowed out the windows by now and dragged all of them folk in the church. I mean, we talk this talk. I just wish we would calm down a little bit on speaking for God and speaking for people at the same time, but I also think that our approach to ministry and how we're preaching and what we're saying is important. Now, here's something, Jeff, that your boys said a couple weeks ago, and Lynn and what's my man? Big Al. Alexander. A lot of comments have been said concerning violence and community. Bring back the tent revivals. Bring back outdoor services. I've actually seen that. You churches need to get back out with tent revivals. Now, let's be clear. The culture has shifted. Tent revivals don't mean the same thing. I grew up on a 7-day tent revival. Us, Pastor Shealy, Bishop Wells, Bishop Madison Edge, Quimby Park, 7 days. The men would sleep overnight with the equipment. I mean, real shown up tent revival. Yep. And, I grew up on that. Is the culture really a tent revival culture anymore? In the same way we talked about how it's not a door knocking culture anymore. Well,
I definitely ain't sleep. I was with Loretta when she done the 4th Street one every year. And I mean, we had to stay outside. I ain't staying outside on 4th Street for no reason right now. I just believe, to be honest, I'm just telling you, but I just believe that what is more effective is like you do and like I've done, getting out there, walking the streets, getting to know people, getting that one-on-one contact, and actually evangelizing to people, and finding out what are the needs of the community and what are the needs of the people, and just letting the people see a friendly face, and just being that community guy. So I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. Being that community guy, being that community presence, and I want to address this because it was said earlier by Sister Jeanette, asking Jesus went to the people to minister. It's half and half, to be honest. I understand that gets said a lot. Jesus went to the people to minister. It is absolutely half and half. If you read the Gospels, at times they really followed him. To be honest,
absolutely.
To be honest, he started talking and people started following him. That's really what the Gospels teach.
As a matter of fact, there was a time where the Bible says that he left by boat and followed by foot.
Right. And then he just kept walking like, bye. I'm tired of y'all.
Matter of fact, today I preached when he came down off the Mount of Olives, and he came down and people followed him, and a guy with leprosy came up to him. They were following him.
But here's what I want to say. She says, why does this modern church expect them to come to us? Church is not seasonal. And I want to just answer as a pastor. I don't believe anybody in the modern church expects the people to come to us. I think just about all of us believe that there has to be some mechanism of reaching out. And we do. Now, if I can sound a little pastoral about a lot of things that come up, your church might be doing something right now and you don't know about it because you haven't gone to church. Remember, church is the meeting place, the headquarters, where you get your marching orders.
Right.
It is where the saints gather. So, perfect example, at Second Baptist, we've already declared we're going out every Wednesday, to meet the people and pray with them. If my members don't come to church or tune in or hear the announcement, they won't know. How would they know if they don't show up? That's still the number one way of communicating what we're doing next and how we're reaching out. And this is how many people we blessed. And so sometimes there are people on the outside of the church who have no idea what they're planning on the inside of the church to do ministry outside of the church because they never come in or they don't engage or they don't check the Facebook page. They don't do any of the things. I mean, I can go out in the field and scream at the top of my lungs. The people in my neighborhood are going to hear me and that's it.
And let's just be clearly honest. And, and this is no knock towards you because I love what you do. I absolutely, man, you boys, we cool. But if you're not Todd Johnson, 99% of the time you ain't gonna get the news coverage. Todd can say he going to him and his church going to the corner store to buy pop and the whole
21 after
the Tribune gonna be there Madonna Chisholm gonna be here.
Well, you know what?
But there are a lot of other churches who are doing, and it's no knock on you because of how much you have done and because of the great work that you are doing. But there are a lot of churches that are doing stuff that might not get the recognition. Let's just not.
Well, you're absolutely right. But there's a secret behind that, and here's the secret to that, and it's not that big of a secret. Most of these churches don't even know how to let people know what they're doing. And you don't do it for show. You don't do it for recognition. I know some people take it that way. They take it in that. But if I want the community to take advantage of what we have to offer, whether it's a food giveaway or a youth program or an outreach, then I'm going to do a press release and send it to the paper. And actually, from doing your program, somebody will come out.
Absolutely.
Most of our churches are just talking to each other. So there's a two-way street here, right?
Absolutely.
And back to that marching orders. And I love how Charlene talked, Lady Charlene talked about, get your marching orders. In the Army, you get your marching orders, and then an announcement is made as to what the next, we're going to wage war. We're going to do this. There's even a siren that goes off before we bomb this city. We're going to give notice to the public of what's happening. So while I'm telling my church what we're going to do, I would be a fool to make all these plans with my church, which I've done before, and not actually tell my community what I'm going to do. And some of our churches lack professionalism, and like, how do you reach out? Like, and I've taken the knocks for, you just self-promoting. I'm like, there's so much garbage in the newspaper. Why not put what the church is doing? Why everybody getting on Facebook talking about what we ain't doing? And we know what everybody's doing. And I've said to other pastors, dude, I wish you would have called such and such and said, hey, I'm doing this giveaway. I'm doing this outreach. And it's up to us to get the word out, to spread the noise abroad, as the scriptures say, the good things that God is doing. But you made an excellent point. There are always going to be some who get a little bit more attention, who have that track record, that bigger name. Every city has it. Every region has it. And that's where I'm quick to defend the church as a whole.
Come on, sir.
I'm quick to defend the church as a whole, because whether you have 500 members or 15 members, there's a good chance you're doing something for somebody, to better somebody's life, to help somebody, whether it's writing a check, supporting an organization, doing a food giveaway. It might not be 100 bags. Maybe you're feeding 10 people a month, but those 10 families wouldn't have it without you. And I've had those arguments with brothers and sisters who go to mega churches and want to tell me about their semi-truck ministry. Well, their semi-truck ministry might be great for New York City, but our pickup truck ministry might be effective in Warren, Ohio, because we're helping the people we're helping. So I think it's a two-way street. And, you're absolutely right. I literally, just like church anniversaries, they be walking in like, I heard it's your anniversary. I'm like, it's like 20 other cats' anniversary this month, but it comes with the territory. But, that outdoor worship experience, whether it's outdoor prayer or whatever, then it comes to, is that what people even want? Or are they still just looking to the church for stuff? And when I say stuff, I mean, give something away, have a place to dump my kid, right? Could care less what you're teaching my kid. I just want to be gone, from 5 to 8 while you have my VBS for a whole week. And I know I got 3 hours free.
Right.
Does the community really want what the church has to offer when it goes out?
Yeah.
Do you think they really want us to come out and pray, or are they gonna say, "Oh, here I go praying again"? Now, I'm trying to pray before we have all these shootings, like Youngstown is having. And let's switch. Yeah, let's switch gears here. Every summer, the church has to deal with what usually becomes an uptick in violence in the community, and an expectation for the church to do something about it. We're seeing it in Youngstown right now.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of them are doing a great job. I know there's something going on. I think this Tuesday with I can't remember their name, the Vasquezes, or matter of fact, I think it's what is the name of their group? I can't remember the name of their group, but they're doing something down there on Sherwood at the new park down there. And I think I love it. I think that's something that a lot of us ought to do, especially if you're smaller or if you're bigger. Connect with somebody in the summer. You're doing these outside. You're going to park and pray, and if the Lord's willing, I'm going to be there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm going to try to come out there, and you might just need an extra hand praying for somebody or ministering to somebody. I think we have to put ourselves in position to, it's not about the credit. It's not about, it's about getting out there doing the work of the Lord. And so we have to be responsible enough to when you do see stuff in the paper, say, you know what, I'm gonna go join up with them. I don't even gotta tell nobody. I ain't even gotta say I'm gonna be there, but just show up and be
Exactly.
present.
And I have a policy, like I've done it already. If I'm going to go do ministry in a neighborhood where other churches are located, there's a good chance I'm gonna speak to and try to reach out to that church.
Absolutely.
I've already done it for Sunday. I reached out and just gave a heads up to my brother who goes to community. I'm going to send a text message in the morning. And, I know for them, it's just a quick notice and say, hey, we're going to be praying at Quimby Park on Wednesday. That's obviously right across the street from you.
Right.
I just feel straight. And no, I don't feel like it's a territorial thing. I don't feel, I don't feel that, but I do feel not even respect, like I owe them respect. I just feel it's an opportunity for fellowship. Why not connect with somebody who's right there? If somebody gets saved who lives on that block, they might be better off walking to their church instead of coming all the way over to mine. And I know what it's like to watch people drive into our neighborhoods and community and not even have a conversation. And they're not just from another part of the Black community, from a whole nother suburb somewhere, and don't even speak. Like, it's almost like walking in the house and your parents taught you to speak.
Right.
I feel that way. It's like, it's not my house, but I'm here. That day to day, speak. And I've had people, First Christian Assembly from Liberty, I give them all credit. For several years, they did Ignite outreach ministries, and they always look for ways to engage us. And even was like, yo, pastor, where are you? We want to see you. Please don't feel that you can do it. You can't do it. But again, however, as Janet calls it, taking it to the streets, however you do it, it's on us as believers to get involved and do it with our church or with ministries that are doing it. Because I'm honestly, I mean, no disrespect to anybody, I'm so sick and tired of people saying the church should be outside doing, and all the times I was outside doing it, they weren't there.
They weren't there.
I know where I've been. I know what I've done, and I know how doggone loud I am about it. Like you said, about half the people talking about you churches need to get. Many, not just me. Matter of fact, I can name just about every church that does an outreach in the city of Warren alone. And the people doing the complaining did not show up to their outreach or help out or volunteer. Absolutely. And all of that. And like even back to the violence thing, it's like, we're pastors, we're not Batman. We're not Marvel superheroes. We're not vigilantes. Listen, Jeff, let's just put our robes on.
I might be. The rest
you might be. I mean, you got a motorcycle and all. You got like the bat cycle. Jeff got the bat cycle. You could go on and be like the gospel avenger. Jeff could be the gospel avenger. Like literally, all we can do, what we're supposed to do in the spiritual sense, is pray and give positive and spiritual uplift to our communities. Yes, there's room for outreach. Yes, there's a part and a place of being out. But let's be honest. Nobody, unless it is their entire mission to do nothing but street, or whether it's homeless or feeding, nobody can devote 100% of any of their operations to just that. It's impossible. There's not enough energy in the world. And matter of fact, I'll say this clearly. Most people I know who really try to rescue everybody in the streets end up burned out.
Yeah, absolutely.
End up burned out. Or back in the streets. Like, you know what, dog? Just pass me that joint, dog.
And there are.
Hey, remember winging a prayer? Remember winging a prayer?
Yeah.
What about joints for Jesus?
I'm done. I gotta go to work. I'm done.
What's wrong with joints for Jesus?
Jesus. The track star come.
The track star, hey, she'll be there. She'll be my first member.
Listen. Let me say this before we close. I gotta go to work. Let me say this before we close. I'm gonna say this, and I hope Todd would love my sentiments. I know it's summertime, and I know a lot of y'all going on vacation, and I know a lot of y'all just happen to miss a Sunday. Y'all can still send y'all tithes. You don't got it. I know you
ain't even got to come no more. Just cash app that joint.
Yeah, just I mean, it's okay. It's summertime. The offering is down. Just send your joint in. You know what I mean?
Zelle. You know what I'm saying? You can anything.
Stop taking all your money on vacation. You know what I mean? All the money.
You didn't have to buy them $17 French fries. Come on now. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. And my Michael Jackson voice, come on. But no, and I mean, that has often been said. Send some Bitcoin. Listen, you know what? I think we need to be the first church that accepts Bitcoin offerings. But it's been said by the older ones, and I hear older deacons say, like, literally, they would say, even if I'm not here, I'm supposed to send my money. And I know how archaic it sounds. I know anytime you say finance, money, anything, especially if it's just not your own free will, anybody saying anything. But honestly, bills don't change because you ain't there.
Absolutely.
You not being there did not lower our electric bill at all. And being a committed part of anything, if I went away to work off site and I'm not here with my family and I had to go do a 30-day gig somewhere and work off site, I bet you my bills at my house gonna be paid.
Absolutely. Hey, when I went to the Navy, my wife was still at home. That check came. I was broke in the mug up there and boot camping.
Right.
Because I still have responsibilities at home.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
Take care of your responsibility.
If you have any ideas as we close, if you have any ideas, something positive your church is doing this summer, we're gonna bring in Big Mike. If your church is doing something positive this summer, if your church is doing something, put it in the comments. Shout your church out. If your church is, I saw Jameson already said that Minister Mario has often done Kingdom Community Fest by Barnes Temple on the east side.
Hey, they gave away haircuts and school supplies and all that stuff, which is a whole nother story. But
listen, we're gonna have a school supply. How you gonna have a school supply drive for kindergarten dropouts? I mean, they're not even going to school or preschool anymore. We giving away school supplies to people that use nothing but tablets now.
Right. And half school has a lot of these,
Oh, they giving this stuff, man, because half the kids, they're not coming with stuff anyway. So it just is what it is. So hey, let's bring in Big Mike, and I want to make sure I hit up our last sponsor, the Phillips Care family of businesses, who are the proud owners of High Street Fitness. Phillips Care Training are operating High Street Fitness at 277 South High Street in Cortland, running, I'm going to call it a late summer, get your body right for Halloween special. They're running get your body right before you gain weight again at Halloween and Thanksgiving. So check out Mike at 330-984-7632. They are also proud sponsors of Religiously Incorrect, and we are grateful to have them as sponsors. If you would like to be a sponsor of this world-wide, international, Grammy-winning, intergalactic podcast, where you can not only be introduced to a new audience, but perhaps to new species, of people, email us at religiouslyincorrectpodcast@gmail.com.
Listen, I rolled past Mike's shop for the other day, by my Cortland. I got tired just riding past. I ain't
just riding by. You started sweating just riding by.
I was like, I lost weight just riding by.
Exactly. All right, Big Mike, what's happening?
What's up, fellas? What's going on?
Man, I'm good.
Hey, Jeff, we got to work on your framing, bro. We got to work on your framing. You all up in the camera, man.
He's in the utility room. He's next to the water heater.
Do you see all this beautifululness here?
He's next to the water heater.
All of it. We see all of it.
We see all of it.
People want to see this, Doc. People want to see it.
It's hilarious.
But I don't really have too much, man. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate your support.
Mike, what's your take on the summertime? I mean, what's your take on summer services? What do you think we should do?
Man, keep doing what y'all doing, man. I mean, just make sure the AC work, have somebody service it, look at it every other week, make sure it's cool. Y'all be all right.
We had to do that this Sunday. We had another little glitch, and I'm like, we got to stay on the ball with this because we know why it's happening. We just got to. stay on the ball.
Yeah. I mean, y'all got the fans with Martin Luther King on, little girl praying. Just make sure you got enough of them.
Absolutely. Call Sterling. Call the funeral home.
Mayor Doug Franklin. Mayor Doug Franklin
for mayor. Ain't supposed to have political stuff in the church, but we don't care, man.
There you go. Now, as far as the outside ministries, I think it's cool, man. I know it might bother some people in the neighborhood, but they'll be all right. Like you said, they bump their music till 3, 4 in the morning anyway. So
right, Big Mike, like forget that white lady. We don't care about her, man. This is my reparations.
Right.
Reparations.
We have an announcement right here from. Hold on, let's put that up here.
Sister Whitby, thank you very much. My faithful food giveaway coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Second Baptist has our food giveaway every third Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So that's this Friday. Anybody at Trumbull County. And by the way, we're open to volunteers. If you would like to volunteer, if you're free during the day and you'd like to come down and help, Thursday we get shipment in. We always post on our Facebook page if we can. And Friday you can come about 10:30 and help the brothers and the sisters out. And we could use some young backs and strong legs because, a lot of our seasoned saints do this, but you young ones, and that we need to do this. Start thinking about this. Parents need to get their kids out volunteering and doing stuff in the summertime, not just going somewhere to have fun or do a camp, but actually put themselves to work, teach them how to serve. I'm gonna make sure my kids aren't. I think they had their program again, but I took an alliance with me before and said, "Hey, you got nothing to do. Come help out, carry some boxes." That's the way I think.
Y'all got any ribs?
We might have some. That's what Sister Whitby if she orders some pig's feet. Hey, we get meat. We get meat. You never know what we might get. They be surprising you. They be surprised. We get filet mignons one week. Who knows, man? So, it's all good, man. Would you be more apt to come to an outdoor service or an indoor service, Big Mike?
Ooh. Outdoor service would be cool, I think.
Mike is like neither, nigga.
Yeah, I ain't coming to your church, Doc.
Nah. Outdoor services are cool. I've been to a few of them. Kind of switch up the atmosphere a little bit different. I'm wrong with it, man. I actually think churches should start doing them again. Why not?
Yeah, I don't think it would hurt. Just do it well, do it effectively. Right. Try to think of new ways to do things.
Right. Now, leave the pulpit chairs inside.
Leave the pulpit chairs inside. And the big glass podium with the gold trim.
Right.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. My air conditioner worked real well, and I ain't trying to go outside 95 degrees. That's just me.
Sister Whitby said no ribs, but they do have chicken this week. So if you want to
there you go.
Stop by and get that chicken, go on ahead, and do it. Hey, we appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget to go to religiouslyincorrectpodcast.com and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to make sure you like, share, comment, and spread the love of Religiously Incorrect. We have millions of viewers, but we could take a few million more. We would be more than happy to take you all.
Listen, y'all, we got our 2-year anniversary coming up. It's about to be big.
We need a live show. I think I got us a venue, y'all. If y'all want a venue, I think I got us a venue. We need to have all of our best favorite viewers in-house. And we just need to cut up. For
yeah, I was going to announce that, but I don't want to jinx it. But yeah, I'm in the negotiations now.
Are you negotiations?
Negotiations now, getting the live show together. So hopefully by the end of August, I can't say exactly what date, but the end of August, we will be live with a studio audience, the cameras, the mics, the whole nine.
At the Apollo Theater. At the Apollo Theater. And Steve Harvey is the guest host.
Can we talk about who we got next week? We got
Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff.
We got
the
Apostle Darren Thomas. Amen. All the way from Columbus, Ohio. Y'all know him. He's a singing machine, the singing sensation. So we got the Apostle Darren Thomas with us next week. So tune in to hear what we got to talk about next week. Tune in next Sunday at 9 for midnight, afternoon, night service, whatever y'all want to call it.
It's Sunday night service, Doc. We appreciate it. I can't wait to talk to Pastor Thomas. One of my favorites. Really enjoy him and his family. So I'm looking forward to it.
Real quick, to Charlene Lenore, yes, we still have merch available. Email us your information, the size you want at religiouslyincorrect podcast@gmail.com. Religiously Incorrect podcast@gmail.com. Gives you information, and we will definitely send you a shirt.
Absolutely. Well, y'all, it's been a great one. Summer's almost over, so pretty soon it won't be summertime blues. It'll be the winter blues, and y'all be complaining about that.
Again.
So, like we always do. But hey, we love y'all. We appreciate you. Pastor Jeff, anything you want to say?
Deuces, love y'all.
All right, y'all take care.
So y'all
Peace
next
out.
week.
Played out.